Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is episode 263. It is the weekly color review where we will review everything that I did last week. We will review how the channel did last week, and then we'll talk about plans going forward. So the first thing I want to dive right into is romantic country. I did get my 2-day-a-week allotment. That is my goal for working on this lovely potting gardening shed page. You will see right off the bat that I did get the brick background line work done completely. One of the episodes I reviewed the middle area and worked off to the side to the right. You'll see here I did a little fix. We'll see if when I color it in at the end that the line that I had to adjust shows, or if it just kind of melts away. I suspect it will melt away after we get all of the other elements colored. I also want to share that I have, here's what my mock-ups on the copy paper look like with the Brutfuner. I do have some sets of pencils that do very well on the copy paper, and I'm only mentioning it because one of my completed projects I actually did on the copy paper, and I'll talk about that and how it ended up that I just kept going. So you will see that my wood texture work was pretty, it didn't go even into the dark colors here. I just wanted to sketch the rough color tone for the chair, the broom, and the rake. And so here is the chair coming along nicely. I did all of this on that video, which was the last video, 262. So if you're interested in that particular bit of work, you will find that there. Also, the second thing I did was completed the 3 jars, the 3 tools, and I only managed to get the top of the rake. Yet to even decide, I have not decided color scheme for the pots. I do have this printed three times so that if I start mocking up some rough colors here and I don't like it, I have a couple of other tries to figure that out. So I am thinking of gold and silver Posca, my ultrafine 2 tones of silver and gold for all of these accent bits to keep things pretty simple. I have very brightly colored flowers, so I am contemplating neutral tones for the pots to enhance the brightly colored pots. On the original, the way the Brutfuners work, they come out much brighter on the paper, that the romantic country paper. There are, like I said, there are other pencils that don't have that much of a reaction as far as how vibrant they get. I was able to go pretty extreme with the flower colors because I wanted to really make them pop, so I knew that I was committed to the 5 floral tones and that they were going to be as bright as they wanted them to be. This actually comes out much nicer on the creamy paper. And I have sketched in that I want my wood shelves, I believe, to be dark woodish, dark sepia-esque. And then I have not decided the color of the hat, the basket, these bins, and the seed box, as well as the seed. You'll see that I did not even color in the handles, but I did commit them to be the lighter tone to offset the dark tone of the wood shelves. I do not think I want the wood shelves to be painted. I want all of the natural elements to be the bright elements on the page, as well as the shawl or blanket. And that is pretty much it for this week. I probably have, I'm looking, I will be doing most of the vines on the side on my own. What I will probably do is when I hit maybe the shelves here, I might do a few on this side so that you see what both sides look like. But per my poll, there wasn't as much strong interest in seeing me color every single ivy and flower bit. So this will all be just a little representative of it, and then I will do the rest on my own. So I'm thinking 3 more sessions. It's going pretty quick. And then the 4th might be the soft background work that I will do. And that might be that I do some of it maybe at the next weekly review. We'll see, because I only have 2 episodes. I want to commit to this week. So far I'm loving it, and it's going very well. And of course I love my Brutfuners. So these are the squares. Okay, so that is that. The second page that actually did get completed, except for one little bit, is the small victories. This particular page, which was the Brutfuner 120s, Evazar 130, Pablo, Amazon Basics 72. The only change you will see perhaps from the video that was done for the Pablos is that I decided that the balance of this row was blue all along the top, red along the bottom with the 3 doors, and I did indeed erase and was able to color the Pablos. I want to, just for fun, I'm going to set this aside. I tend to put my pencils away very quickly because I rotate through my Lazy Susans, and I'm usually always like one day ahead I've picked, and then one day behind that I need to put away. So I kind of have a rhythm that I get into. So this here, if you haven't already seen it, these are my professional pencils. They sit right by my recliner. They have an open space. Because I know they are light fast, they can sit in the Florida light and be okay. I don't fear that the tips will be damaged color-wise or affected by the sun in any way, even though the sun, you know, they are 100 years plus on most colors in museum framing. So museum conditions means they've been protected appropriately, and these are just sitting wide open. So I have 5 sets of pencils in here, and here's how, like when I pulled the red and the blue, I have rubber bands holding together my red, pink, and then my blues, and I pulled out the colors. I always refer to my videos where I have posted for you guys the colors. I actually refer to those all the time if I need to go dig out a color, because I put things back so quickly if I'm doing any cleanup or a tweak, and I've already put them back. So here's the two colors that I had for the red was Indian Red 141, Dark Carmine 89. Oh, it says Indian Red is 75, and then 89. I added Scarlet because I had a little bit of blue still a stain on the paper, which is pretty common, and to overcome the deep the blue made the Indian Red a little more purple and a little darker than I wanted, so I was able to take Scarlet Red over the top. You see it's a nice light orangey red, and it brightened it up for me to my satisfaction. And then the 2 blues I used was blue 260 and 149 night blue. This blue is not the blue. I think I used more of a purpley blue, but it's just what I grabbed, and I put that on the door, and that worked really well. So now, and then here's my pencils. I will be putting these, and I am just not, oops, let's grab the right one. As you take more pencils out, these rubber bands, of course, have more room, so I have to be more careful. So now I have filled the blue back up. And so, and I buy these rubber bands by the bag at the Dollar Tree. And then I have my blues here. So I do have a new set of pencils I've been slowly growing, and that's the Holbeins. And I don't want to make this any tighter than it already is. And the Holbeins are not pencils that I would use for my nature and animal type portraiture that I do. So they actually are getting their own case. I did, in fact, order a case, and it came so that I can get them out of the temporary case that I have them in, which is my old beat up work case or in process case that I use as a backup. So that is the Pablos and how I store them. I am very pleased with this page as a whole. This particular page, I have another project, so I'm kind of leaping ahead to my whips. And one thing I love to do, if you guys don't know me, I love to swatch and do samplings of things. I do not really like to quote unquote play on a page or in a book, because I'm only on 2 books I've ever colored in. So I haven't really done any very exciting backgrounds per se, and my accents and bling that I put on is very minimal at this point. But that doesn't mean I'm not off to the side doing some exploration and learning of materials to kind of give me more options down the road as I get more and more comfortable with coloring and coloring in books where pencils are definitely my preference. I am still off on the side doing some explorations, and I do also with the coloring group meetings, I share other options for people because not everybody wants to color with pencils. So we have many other options out there in the marker world and pastels, etc. So on this whole page, looking at all of my scenes, I'm missing white on this jar. I have my Posca pen, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I think my favorite row, standing up here farther away, I think I might pick my last row just because I like the material for whatever reason. I love the glass. I love the key. The key really with that whimsical tag with the heart. I really love it. It has a couple of houses, and I love that one of the houses is the pear, and I love the coloring on the pear and how it came out. So I am going to, I've never really filmed far away. You guys always see me very close because I'm sitting in my recliner. So I am going to sit down. I'm going to try really hard not to get my hair in the way, or my head. I will be adding light because I need to see. We're having rain. This is the week of the next hurricane called Milton, that right now is a tropical storm, I believe, but is going to hit as a hurricane. I'm on the east coast side, and it's not determined yet. I'm going to turn this light. It's going to come across. I want it to be on the side so I don't cast a shadow while I'm coloring. I have shaken this, but I haven't seen if the flow is good without a push. I see the flow of white is fine. So we have a storm coming. We have my parents in the fifth wheel. We are moving them into the house for the storm because it is of unknown strength. Our fifth wheel is totally fine, tucked away under our port, but I don't want them to hear. It's really noisy in an RV. Even if the RV has a wall and a roof protecting it, it's just not the same as being in a house. And that way, if it does turn into being something more than we are expecting, being very sensitive to the Helene and what Helene did unexpectedly, we will be prepared, and they will be in here. We have a spare bedroom so that they can hang out in and sleep overnight if that's what is needed. Our home is going to be high and dry. It has storm shutters. We have actually on this street, now we are the only people on this street to have what's called a whole house generator with an in-ground propane tank, so that if the event it is really unexpectedly bad and like maybe the power goes out, we will be able to run the generator. We will have we already filled up our tank. They're using city water in the trailer, but we have a 60-gallon tank. We can fill up the sinks in here if we want. We can fill up the sink. There's 2 sinks in the trailer. We can fill it up with water. Those are kind of the standard emergency things to do, is to get yourself as much water as you can. We have, for the trailer that we've always had, 4 propane tanks, the larger ones. So we basically have 2 houses that can run for an extended, many days. Actually, with the propane in the rig there, we can't run the generator. I mean, sorry, the AC in the trailer, but we can run everything else. Cook. We could boil water if we needed to. If we didn't have power here, we have enough propane. We could boil water. So I think we're good. And I wish everybody well if the storm ends up being a bad one. So here we have the completed jar. I have covered the white. I do have here, and I still have no idea how that looked, and I hope my head didn't get in the way. I want to add more of this blue. I could even, we have turquoise blue. I want to now darken the jar. The top row jar, you can see, has more blue. That was the Brutfuner Square, lightest blue. And I want to deepen this blue. I have not actually added, I missed one little bit of Posca I want, which is the highlight across the front of the glass. I have, with my parents here, I have been really super busy. They are the most active people ever. They run me ragged with everything, and then we had the storm. So today we did go and buy extra provisions. Though Hub, he is a planner for these things and has already got us stockpiled with a whole bunch of your basic type emergency foods, easy to prepare, all of that stuff. We already have that all at the ready from earlier storms. So there is the darker colored jar. Now I want to do the Posca, and I'm going to make sure that I run my highlight over an area that already has some dark, or else my drawing of it would not be very helpful. Oh, and see, we do have to be careful. These do, even though there's not a ball, you can, if it's wet and you go over it a second time, it definitely will wipe it away while it's drying. Okay, so I'm going to leave that jar just like that. The other thing that Poscas do is they are somewhat translucent, see-through, so they're not opaque like an acrylic. So wherever I want it really opaque, I do have to go over it a second time. And I'm okay. I'm leaving some of the lines because I'd like to see a little bit of them, the hint of the outline. So that completes my one completed page from the small victories. The next completed page, and you can leave any questions you have about the colorings and what I did. I completed one of my fall coloring pages. I had shown you a series of them. I finished one of them. However, this is the original on, this one was Spring Hill. This is using a whole bunch of Irojiten colors. Oh, and I'm going to turn this light away. I want to see in the natural light. So there's the natural light. It is a little bit dim because it's raining. And the others I did not make any traction on. This had a time deadline, which I did meet. However, it was not done on the original. I made 2 copies because Hub and I are both dragon people. This is the other mock-up. Again, Irojiten. And then I asked him one night, probably the night that I did the video, I asked him what he wanted, and he said he wanted a fall dragon. So this is Irojiten on 20-pound copy paper. I did go over the pumpkins a little bit to brighten them up. You can see here's the copy version of the pumpkin, and here is the brightened up version of the pumpkins. And I sat in bed and colored this darn thing, and I knew it was copy paper, but I was making progress and I really enjoyed it. And I did feel those Irojitens, for as hard of a pencil as they are, being the hardest pencil in my collection, they worked really well on the cheap 20-pound copy paper. Way better than the Brutfuner does. So I was able to complete this and get it submitted to this buddy color for the birthday month of R.J. Hampson. And I am very proud. Like I said, I'm trying to get myself now involved in some of the community activities to kind of help give me a direction in my coloring from week to week, more than just the daily color. It's like I have the daily color down and I'm ready for more. So I'm very happy that I finished this, even if it is on copy paper. And I will keep the Irojitens. I haven't even logged them. Here are all of the Irojiten pencils I used, sitting on the Lazy Susan. They're the white ones over here on the side. This is my full selection. It wasn't something I colored with you guys, so I didn't have to catalog this. And I finished it all in one night, and I just kept pulling colors out. So it was really fun to color very differently than how the daily color works, which I have to be very organized. I have to keep it really simple, and I don't want to get it way overly complicated, especially the pencils used, so that I can't track them for you. So this was fun to get this many pencils out, and every single one of them is on this page. So that is finished. Very proud of that. I already have pictures of it finished. Now moving on to next week, and actually next month, I have decided Teresa Goodridge has a Facebook group, and I will put that Facebook group on here. There is the October challenge. I did not finish the fall ladder, which I really love. Here is how it looks at the moment. I am still going to finish it for myself to have it finished with the Starjoy Golds. But in the meantime, that particular month challenge is done. And the next month's challenge is actually an interesting one. There's two of them. There's the buddy color. This is the buddy color. The challenge for the month, which is a separate thing, is make pumpkins, a page that has pumpkins. This has 3 big pumpkins, but they can't be orange. So I can use this image to satisfy 2 different challenges. And historically, I haven't told you guys this, but years ago, 8, 9 years ago, this is how I got more involved in card making. Before I was even a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would submit to challenges and submit cards to, even Simon Says Stamp, and then they have these awards. And Teresa Goodridge has, a point system that if you get picked, depending on where your placement is overall, I haven't even investigated, by probably count of how many people like your image, you will get points, and eventually you can earn a book. So I thought that's a great challenge for me. It's something that if you like her style of art, now this is very sketchy versus this art. I do prefer, though I don't like the heavy lines, this art to me looks more complete. So the added challenge for me is playing with a very rough sketch type of art and see how well I can work with it and make it look nice and finished at the end, even though it's very sketchy like. So that's for adding another fall image. I have next, because of the image that I just finished in Small Victories, it reminded me that some of these images are on a framed page. This was a freebie. It was also like a challenge that I think you could get something, you could get in a drawing that Joanna Basford did. And I missed that, but that's okay. I still liked the framing. So I am using this to create background samples. Here is clouds with stencils, a mountain scene with stencils. And now I've got these all ready to go masked, and I am going to go ahead and use Frisket or masking liquid to protect both of these images. And I have, for those, I have some folk art. I have dragonfly glazes, 2 of them. These were bought at Walmart a bit ago. And I haven't even done a haul of them. because I didn't even have time to process them, I guess. So they'll be done this month. And then here are my three. I liked color shift, color changing, and here's the color shift changes, but I need to get to know them and see how they work. Here's the tops of the, there we go. I'm seeing it through the lens. And so if you've used these, let me know what you think. I find liquid and paint is way more challenging to work with, and I am very familiar with watercolor, but not like acrylics have never been my friend and my thing I've done well with. So I'm going to be working on this month. I would like to have my sheet all done up. I will be doing washi tape. You know, that's what I did with these to have the nice clean lines, and I love the borders. I could even do a second page of this if in the end, if I have more than a page worth of backgrounds to have record of, I will just print another one of these sheets. Do I have anything more? Let's talk about next week. I've already talked about the romantic country, that there's about 4 colorings left to finish it. 3 to 4. Let's see what's next. We have dogs. We've got the dachshund dogs. I have also found, by the way, that these clips I keep on, it keeps me from having to hold the book flat when I'm coloring, and it keeps the spine as level as it can possibly be. The 3 dogs are going to be some interesting colors: Derwent drawing, pastel tints, and metallic. And I think that's perfect to have those kind of oddball, non-standard. Even like Harmonious is another one that if it had been on this, in this section, it would have been nice to have done on this page. So the only finagling I did to make that set of 3 happen was I moved Derwent drawing, which would have been this row. I swapped it with the Pablo's here, Amazon Basics here, and then pastel tints and Derwent drawing went over here to the dogs. I will likely for sure get through the dogs, which means then we're doing boats, and we love our boats. So boats are going to be Derwent Lightfast, Prismacolor, Prang. I will probably go ahead and do 2 boats. So this is 3 sets. That way I can get more accomplished. And if all goes really well, since I'm going to color for 4 days, I'm going to say that I will still only finish the dogs and maybe half of this page. I say that because I do have my parents here who are getting all sorts of things taken care of in their world as they relocate to Florida. So I have done my best to be available to help them. And they are in the process of found a house that they like, and we have to get that process going of the purchase of the house. And so that is all very exciting. So now let's go quickly do a review. This is where we like to not have the page be empty. I'm going to put the dragon back. You guys can look at the dragon. I will be covering the dragon with, and this is, I'm calling my autumn dragon, my husband's autumn dragon. And I haven't decided what I would do my dragon if I should find time this month to color it. Okay, so my channel had a slower week. I did not do any extra videos, and that's part of it. When I do an extra bonus video or 2, I do tend to get more watches of views, and that makes sense, but not necessarily more subscribers. I got 18 subscribers, which was 25% less than the previous 7 days. My biggest day was 6 subscribers on October 2nd, and my views and watch time were down. I had 2K views, 27% less than the previous 7 days, and 264 hours, 29% less than the previous 7 days. I have, my subscriber count is 898. I'm getting very close to 900. That's very exciting. Thank you all who have subscribed. I appreciate the support, and I'm still going. Of course, my goal being 1,000. It's kind of, to me, like when I hit 1,000, that's when everything begins. That's when I can just really focus on growing the channel and adding in some more functionality and options for subscribers to get more involved. with my channel. So we had 528 views in the last 48 hours, and I'm leaning close to look at these little vertical bars, which is 1 hour of time. My largest hour of time was 69 views between 6 and 7 p.m. on Friday. This is Sunday. And the lowest views, I had 1 view in the hour of between 5 and 6 a.m. today. And every other bar is more than 1 hour. And so that is pretty exciting. Of course, my top 3 views, because I didn't have any, like a haul video or some special one-off video, the 3 top content for the last 48 hours would be 60, 61, and 260, 261, and 262, which are the last 3 videos that I have posted. Interesting. Okay, so that particular, everything I just reported to you is going to be a screenshot, and at the very end I will have my showcase, which will show the 2 completed images, and I will probably toss in where I'm at with Romantic Country so far. Again, leave any questions you have about what the work that I've done last week or what I'm going to be doing next week on the video. Do all of the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all tomorrow for the first daily color of the week.